Hello traders and welcome to Market Update. It's Stu Narpan here, founder of Master the Markets Elite Trades Conference and the Traders Open Day. So here we are on the market update for the month of July 2021. Can you believe it? Time flies. Just one more week and then we're going into August. At least the great thing is the sun is out here in London, and I'm sure most of you are basking in the sunshine and enjoying it. And wherever you are listening from, whichever part of the world, hopefully your weather is doing fine too. Right, so today's topic, what I wanted to look at was basically compression phases. Okay, compression phases. That's what we are going to be looking at. Now, what do we mean by a compression phase? What does that mean? Okay, so I'm sure when the other traders have done it, I believe that Satwik had done a topic on the different variations that the trend goes through. So one of the variations that you would have looked at is what we call a variation 2. So something is in an uptrend and it does this, and it comes back down and makes a lower high, but not a lower low yet. Okay, so that is what we call a single market compression. And then if it continues to compress further without taking out the lows and fulfilling the definition of a trend, that becomes an extended market compression. Now you see traders, that is one way of defining a compression, okay, through pattern recognition. Another way that you can add on to this is that the second factor is, other than pattern recognition, sometimes it might not really fit into this pattern, but you can still consider it as a compression. Okay, what that would be is basically when it's less than a certain number of distance. Okay, you see, if the average distance is this, and if something does lesser than the average distance, then we can consider it as a compression. So you see, what is a compression phase? One is that by definition of a pattern recognition, which I want mentioned to you here. Second is through a distance that you define. Now, how do you get the distance? Use your open equity tables and use the 50% mark. Anything less than 50%, which is almost more or less your average, then you will be using this. Okay, so usually in the currency pairs, what we have found is about 100 pips. Anything less than 100 pips is a compression. So you can see, but of course, before I can define this, as I've mentioned before, as we mentioned this many times before, your tops and bottoms must be quantified. Just like here, you see, look, it's all compressing here, isn't it? But you can't see that if you haven't quantified your tops and bottoms. Okay, so that is what is a compression phase. Now let's move on into why that is important. As you and I know, why is that important? Because usually we know the principle that after compressions we get a big breakout. Okay, big breakout, and of course based on that you get a high reward to risk potential, actual reward to risk potential, and you can make a strategy of that. That's why it's important. Okay, finally, how do you take advantage of them? How do you build strategies around them? Two main ways, traders. One is put your entry criteria based on what I've told you here: pattern recognition and distance based compression phases. Define the compression very clearly. And after you've done that, after your entry criteria, then after that you must look at your trade management and your exit criteria. Okay, usually compressions will run longer, so you can use a much more bigger target based on your OE tables again. And then your trade management can be based on how the market will move based on the different market structures which we have defined here at Master the Markets. Okay, so that's what I would say. I mean, do reflect on that. Here you can see there's one good example here on a compression phase where it broke out. We did capture this live as well here at Master the Markets. Now let me just show you that particular trade that we captured. There you go, that's the trade over there that we caught on dollar Swiss, 14th of June. We were looking at entering here, that's where we entered, and then we exited at 9141, and 9141 was around here, and that was the bar that took us out, which also confirmed, made about 1,000, a little bit less than, a little bit over 1,500 pounds over there. Okay, so that's what we did over there on that trade. Right, so I believe today you've taken home on the compression phases. So what is a compression phase? 2 is why they're important. 3, how to use them, which is what I gave you the idea. Last point I want to give you on how is that if, let's say, after a certain compression it doesn't break out, then what you can do is follow the compressions and increase your stake size, because eventually at one point it's got to break out. It can't compress for ever, especially on a liquid market. All right, and we also have got our compression tables on when the 80% probability happens after X amount of compression phases. If you have any questions regarding all of this, you can always email us. We'll be happy to help you. And then in terms of starting off on your trading journey, you can always go on to our Trader Starter Pack video course, and you can start looking at the fundamentals here, as well as the intermediate advanced material that we've included in the video course, as well as if you're a bit intermediate advanced professional, and you can look at a trade like a master video course as well. Really high quality content that we put out there, all in our mission to spread the truth of trading, which we've been doing since 2010. Okay, right, so now let's go on to the second part of the market update, which is the market overview. So let me just quickly take a look. Yes, we're on the market watch here. Dollar Swiss, we are on uptrend over here. I would highly definitely say that open equity is towards the upside over here, and we are also having a continuation pattern move over here as well. We should be looking at in the elite room. Dollar yen nicely, swiftly on the move up over here, which we are on the elite room as well as the live trading room as well. And in terms of GBP USD over here, what are we having at the moment? Open equity still more to the upside before it carries on into the downtrend towards the downside. Euro dollar on the other hand, traders, open equity diminishing to the bottom, so I would look at trailing our stops tight towards the long side over here. Aussie dollar on the other hand, traders, we are looking at open equity more to the upside, diminishing to the downside. GBP yen, I would say more open equity to the upside. Bitcoin lifting up very slightly over here off its 30,000 mark over here. So I would say more open equity to the upside, because this is diminishing, momentum is decreasing. Brent oil on the other hand, you can see I would say more open equity to the upside, in line with its trend. Also just got its confirmation just down there, a bit more move for the swing move there. Gold on the other hand, more open equity to the downside, in line with its trend at the moment. FTSE, more open equity I would say to the upside before it resumes with its trend on the downside. Dow Jones lifting up very strongly. I would still say open equity diminishing to the upside, so I would trail my stops more tighter towards the long and to capture that swing. S&P much more stronger, more open equity to the upside. Silver on the other hand, I would say open equity is diminishing to the downside, more tighter stops over here, and if it does revert, then revert it to the upside. But for now it's in line with the trend. Wheat on the other hand, I would say that more open equity definitely to the downside. Okay, all right, so that's that in terms of the market watch over there. Then in terms of our performance, So far, as you can see on the elite room, only on the 100 pips, we had a little bit of a small loss, minus 0.43. We've been keeping our losses really small. We had a really good run on the continuation pattern slow exits about 2 weeks ago, pushing the equity curve up about 4%. So that's how we do it. Keep the losses small. Lift off 20% and 70%. Took a bit of a hit, minus 2. TSO primary very little, minus 0.31, and 70% very little. Overall, minus 2.61%. Down on the live trading room, looking for still big major runs in the market for this year. Not really getting them, but wait patiently on them. Overall, we are just a little bit down, minus 3% for this week. Okay, right. So I guess that's pretty much the full update over there, as I've mentioned just now on the compression phases or any strategies that you do. Keep your drawdown small and wait for the big runs with patience. That is what this game is about. And remember that in this game, the money works for you. So do not confuse it with other professions where you're actively working to change something. Once you have done your homework, let the system look after itself. As long as you've looked after the downside, the upside will look after itself. Right, okay, so the last just reminder, video courses, beginner slashed intermediate advanced traders, you can look at Trader Starter Pack. If you're a bit more advanced, more professional, you need more advanced stuff, you can look at Trade Like a Master video course over here. All you got to do, put your name, email address, and the video course will be sent to you. Really good quality content that we put out there, all in our mission to spread the truth of trading. Traders, till the next time, as we always say, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.